Hello and welcome. This is my introductory video. My name is Monica. This is my new channel, Worsted Witch. This channel is mainly going to be about knitting and all of my adventures in knitting and just really what I get up to. I wanted to create this channel to really just keep track of some of the projects that I'm working on. I have several larger projects in knitting planned. Well, actually I'm working on one of them now, and then I have another one planned for this year. And instead of keeping track of my projects through pictures on Instagram, I wanted to go ahead and just create this channel to just keep track of those projects, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to do, and hopefully everybody likes that. I know for myself, I quite like watching some project channels and knitting channels, specifically Martin from Knit365. He has inspired me to create my own channel, and shout out to Martin. Hello. I just really enjoy his content. If you haven't checked him out, I highly recommend it. He's really great. But yeah, I quite like watching those project videos myself, and so I decided to go ahead and try my hand at making my own videos, and hopefully you guys like it. I am not on any podcasting platforms, and podcasts are really just about audio, and since these are videos, I am going to actually just call this a vlog, a knitting vlog channel, a KnitTube. This will be my KnitTube. And yeah, I'm not going to call this a podcast because that's not really what it is. Hopefully you guys really enjoy watching them. Just by way of introduction, again, my name is Monica. I am coming to you from Washington State, not Seattle, but close enough to Seattle. And originally, though, I am from Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born and raised there. I started learning to knit, I want to say, in around 2009. It could have been a little bit earlier, but 2009. I learned how to knit because I wanted a pair of mittens. Specifically, I wanted the mittens that Kristen Stewart wears in the first Twilight movie. I wanted those mittens. Don't judge me. It was 2009. But I wanted them because they were so cute. They're brown and they had these beautiful cables up the front, and they were just really cute. And so I said to my mom, who had she taught herself how to knit. Excuse me. She taught herself how to knit, and so I asked her if she would make them for me, and she said to me that she wouldn't, but she would teach me how to make them. And I was really stubborn, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll learn how to make these mittens, and that's it. I'm not going to learn how to do anything else. And yeah, here we are, 12 years later. It's totally fine. But from 2009 to basically now, I didn't really do a whole lot of knitting, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, I was in my early 20s when I learned how to knit, and I just didn't really do a whole lot of knitting in my early 20s. For some reason, I guess I was just busy doing other things, so it wasn't really something I did on the regular. And then the other reason was because, like I said, I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, and that's where I was at the time, and unfortunately in that hot desert climate you just don't really have a lot of opportunities to wear your knitted projects. So I didn't really make a whole lot of things. I would start projects and then never finish them, and yeah, so didn't really do a whole lot of stuff. I guess you wouldn't call me a beginner knitter, but you would call me just intermediate, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing, but anyway, I didn't really do a whole lot. And then in 2020, like I'm sure a lot of people, I was just sitting at home and I didn't really have a whole lot to do, so I started picking up the needles more and started knitting and different things, and I finished a few things, and I really, I just fell in love with knitting again. I really love it, and I cannot wait to share my projects with anybody who's watching this. I cannot wait. But anyway, I guess that's all about me. I don't really have a whole lot of backstory, I suppose. Oh, I did want to say that I am not going to commit myself to making videos for this channel every week, or not really every 2 weeks even, because I am a recent graduate and I am applying to law school this coming application cycle, or this application cycle actually, since it's already opened. And just as you can imagine, it is taking up a ton of my time. It's just a whole process. And so I just feel like committing myself to a video every week is just going to be too much. And at least until October, maybe November, I'm not going to be making a video every week. We'll see how it goes after that. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I am going to go ahead and actually just jump right into the biggest project that I'm making right now, and really the reason that I'm making these videos, just to keep track of this particular project and maybe some others that I'm working on. But I wanted to go ahead and share the big project that I'm currently working on, and that is the Slipstravaganza Blanket. The Slipstravaganza is a pattern by Stephen West, Mr. West Knits. He is a knitting designer. I think he's based in Amsterdam. Anyway, he's fabulous. He's wonderful. I absolutely love Stephen West, and I love his designs. He does a mystery knit along every year, and last year, 2020, was the very first year that I participated in it, and it was just such a blast. It was so much fun to see everybody's knitted projects and finished projects, and everybody's color choices, and it was just so cool. I really enjoyed it. I think usually you make a shawl, you know, just a shawl wrap. And last year we made a shawl called Slipstravaganza. And it's a beautiful shawl, and it's just got, I think it's got 3 different contrasting colors and 1 main color, and it's just a really beautiful piece of art. I did participate in that. I don't have my finished Slipstravaganza shawl because I actually gifted it and made it. I made it and I gifted it to my best friend over in Las Vegas, and he has it. So I don't have it, unfortunately, to show. But I will insert somewhere, if I can figure it out, some pictures of it because it's so pretty. But anyway, I really enjoyed that knit along, and I cannot wait to participate in this year's knit along, which takes place in October, and I will have a video on that a little bit later and share my color choices for that. But yeah, a little bit later, like after the knit along, he released a pattern for the Slipstravaganza Blanket. So the blanket is obviously different from the shawl. The blanket is huge, apparently. It's massive. It can fit, I want to say, a double-sized bed. It's big. It's a big blanket. This project is by far the biggest project that I have ever worked on or have ever even started. It's huge. But I want to go ahead and show you what I have been working on. The Slipstravaganza Blanket, let me just show you what I've accomplished. This is my Slipstravaganza Blanket so far. I'm still working on it, as you can see, but for the Slipstravaganza Blanket, you start here in the middle, and then you do this like circular cast on, kind of cool, and you go in garter stitch around that and make it, you do increases a few times and then make it really large, and it gets to be this just big dot. So that's the first I can't remember how many sections are in this blanket. I'll look it up and put it in the description or something, but that's the first section of the blanket, is just this middle dot, and it's really, really cute. I had a little bit of trouble, I want to say, with this cast on. It took me a few tries. I had to like take it out and then do it again a couple of times because I don't know, I just couldn't get it. And when I was starting this, I actually started it with the magic loop method, which there's videos, I'm sure, on YouTube about the magic loop method. this channel is not really going to be about techniques or how to do things. I'm not really good at teaching that kind of stuff, so I'm sure if you looked it up you can find it. But the magic loop method, I have a little bit of tension issues when I do it. As you can see right here, there's a little bit of tension issues. I have some little gaps and holes that I'll have to go in and fill later, but have a little bit of tension issues when I do the magic loop method for some reason. But I think either way it turned out really nice. So that's the first section, like I said, and then the second section are these little they're honeycombs. They're these little honeycombs, and you start with, and you actually use all of your contrasting colors in the honeycomb section, but you start with the little honeycomb and then you move on into the bigger ones. And this is the last honeycomb. I actually just last night finished the second section, which is the honeycomb section. And if you can see, I think it turned out really pretty. It's really, really nice. But you can see all the contrast colors that I chose. I chose for this pattern, like I said, you can choose 3 contrasting colors or more if you want, but 3 contrasting colors and your main color. So for my main color, I just have this beautiful black color, and then the contrasting colors that I'm using are these different grays. So I have like a silver and then gray and then just a dark gray right here. And the yarn, I really chose a nice monochromatic pattern or monochromatic color scheme for this because I thought that it would just go with everything in my decor. Really, that's why I chose it. So I really, really liked it. I was originally going to buy, I'll share with you the yarn that I'm using. Originally I was going to buy the West Knits wool. Stephen West, on his website, stephenandpenelope.com, they have different kits for all of the projects that he has created, all of the designs. And they do have a kit for the Slipstravaganza blanket, but, and I think it's created with West Knits wool. Anyway, the kit for the blanket is, like I said, they're in Amsterdam, and the yarn is a little bit more pricey. It's a little bit more expensive, and so I just really couldn't afford to buy the yarn on their website, unfortunately. But they really have the different color palettes available there. So I took one of the color palettes. They have the monochromatic color palette available on their website. So I found yarn, I think this is a DK weight. I found yarn on somewhere else and I just purchased that yarn. I actually found this yarn on the yarn store online called Webs, W-E-B-S, and it wasn't too expensive. I want to say it's around like 113 or 120, something like that, for all of the yarn that I needed. This yarn is acrylic. Yeah. I don't usually like to knit with acrylic because it's acrylic. But I figured because it's a blanket, it's not really a big deal. I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this thing, so it's fine. So I got this acrylic yarn. It's actually 60% merino wool and 40% acrylic yarn. It's Valley Yarns. It's a DK weight, if you can see. It's the yarn that's actually by Webs. So the yarn store that I bought this from, Webs, if you can see right there, America's Yarn Store. So that is the yarn that I'm using, and like I said, I'm just using the 4 colors. I'm using the black for my main color and then the 3 grays for my contrasting color, and it's coming out this really beautiful monochromatic scheme blanket. And I have just finished, like I said, the second section. I'm going to move on to the third section soon, which are these, like, I don't know how to describe it. They're a bunch of slip stitches in just 2 colors. So for the second section, I'm just using this gray and the black. So it'll just be these 2 colors for the next section, and I'll have to look it up what the second or the third section is called and write it in the description below. but I'm excited to start the third section. And it's coming along. It's coming along nicely. I want to say at this point with the blanket, I have about, I think it's 380 something stitches. 384 or 6 or something around there. So over 300. Haven't gotten to 400 stitches yet, but it is quite large already. These needles that I'm using are 60-inch circular needles, so it's getting there. It's getting big, and I want to say but it's going to get a lot bigger, obviously. At the end of this project, I'll have 1,600 stitches to cast off. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, so that's my Slipstravaganza blankets. And I started this project just for progress report. I started this project a little bit early. I got my yarn delivered in June, and that's when I started this project, June 28th, I want to say. So right at the end of June. And I started it, and I got about this far. I hadn't finished this part. I got about this far, and I stopped for a little while. I stopped for like a little over a month, just because I have other projects that I'm working on right now, and I wanted to, like I said, make these progress report videos here and keep track of my progress, and I hadn't done that yet. So I stopped, and then a couple nights ago I actually picked it up again and just finished this second section here. So I just did these two different honeycombs right here. But yeah, I think it's coming along nicely. So I'll go with the date that I started it, June 28th, and today is September 6th. I don't even know what day it is. It's Labor Day. It's September 6th. So yeah, so that is my little it's not little, but it's my Slipstravaganza blankets. Yeah, so that's fun. Yay. I'm gonna go ahead and share another project that I'm currently working on with you guys here. I wasn't gonna share this because well, you'll see. Okay, yeah. But I think I'll share it anyway, just because it's really pretty. And yeah, I'm working on my very first sweater. The first sweater that I'm knitting is called the Broadleaf sweater by Wool and Pine. It's this beautiful brioche knit sweater, and here it is. I will show you. Let me just turn it around. Here we go. It's this beautiful brioche sweater. As you can see, I am in Sleevestown right now, and yeah, so this is why I haven't finished it, because just sleeves are they just take a long time, and I'm just kind of over knitting the sleeves. But yeah, but I did finish the body. Here is the rest of the body. It's just you actually just knit the front panel and then the back panel, and then sew them up together. And so I blocked them and sewed them both up and created a little hole for my head to go through here, and it actually fits quite beautifully. And the broadleaf sweater is this beautiful brioche pattern. They're just little leaves. Hopefully you can see that. They're really, really pretty. But this is definitely not a sweater for a beginner. Well, brioche knitting isn't really for beginners. I was really scared of brioche knitting when I first started, but I just did it, and for me, it's not that bad. It's actually really intuitive for me. It's actually really intuitive, just knitting yarn overs and knits together, and it's really, really easy. I wouldn't be scared of brioche, but this is probably not what you want to start with if you're just starting brioche. There's some other like beginning brioche projects. I know Stephen West has a couple of them, but yeah, I wouldn't start with this particular one for brioche knitting, but it is quite fun, and I would try it if you haven't before. I really, really love it. But yeah, this is my broadleaf sweater, And the sleeves are going to be longer. I'm going to go ahead and knit longer sleeves. They're going to go right down to here, and they end with like a ribbing. And when I knit this sweater, I messed up because, like I said, this is my first sweater. I hadn't knitted a sweater before, and maybe this is like sweaters for dummies, but when I knit the sweater, for some reason, like in the pattern it says that you can have however much positive ease in the sweater, and when I knit it up, I was coming from the area where I knit a lot of scarves and shawls and whatever, and I thought it would be written out. So I thought if I picked that I wanted 8 inches of positive ease, that the pattern would say, okay, this is how you knit 8 inches of positive ease, and then just give me like a rundown of all of it. But no, you have to like calculate it. And anyway, whole thing. So suffice to say, it did not show up. The finished project did not show up with any, I don't really have any positive ease in the sweater. So instead of being like a looser fit, it's really kind of, it's not tight, but it just fits. It like fits me perfectly, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of positive ease. So not exactly what I wanted, but it still turned out really, really nice. I cannot wait to finish the sleeves so I can be done with it, and hopefully, definitely get to wear it this fall or winter, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Let me share with you the yarn that I used. I actually used Miss Bab's yarn for both of them. The main color is this dark purpley color called Dark Fury by Miss Bab's yarn, and it's held together with this mohair lace yarn right here. This is by Shibui. I don't know how to say it. I'm messing it up. Shibui. Shiba. Oh my god. Forget it. I don't know. Unfortunately, actually, I don't even remember the name of this colorway. It is a limited edition color, so I'm not sure that you can find exactly this color, but I don't know the name of it. I'm so sorry. But it just fit really nicely with this purple here, so I just held them together. You don't have to do that, but it does come out with this really nice fuzzy effect that I really liked, so I went ahead and did that. And then the contrast color that I used for the brioche, 2-color brioche pattern, was also by Miss Babs. This color here. This is called Bewitching. Yeah, Bewitching or Bewitched. I think it's Bewitching. Yeah. Anyway, it's this beautiful variegated colorway, and it has all these different colors, you know, greens, yellows, reds, purples, blues. Yeah, it's just a beautiful variegated colorway, and I think they ended up really nicely together, and yeah, I can't wait to finish that and share it with you guys when I'm done. Those are the 2 projects I'm going to share on this first video with you all. I will come back with another video, hopefully before the end of September, I want to say. I will endeavor to make, now I'm not going to make videos every week like I said, but I will endeavor to make them at least every month. I'll do like a monthly wrap up and just kind of share my progress and what I've completed over the month. So I will have that, and the mystery knit along, the West Knits mystery knit along for this year, I get my yarn hopefully on Wednesday. I've already purchased my yarn for this mystery knit along, and I'll make a video about that, about starting that mystery knit along. We don't start knitting until October 8th, so we have some time, but hopefully before the end of September I'll have another video come out that'll just be about the West Knits mystery knit along and the progress that I've made in the West Knits Slipstravaganza blanket, and hopefully I've made more progress with the broadleaf sweater sleeves as well. So yeah, that is going to be all for this first video. I really hope you guys enjoy watching it. If you guys have any suggestions or videos that you want to see, please let me know. I can't wait to chat with you all. Hopefully I get some people watching this video. Anyway, that's all for now. Until I see you guys again, happy knitting!